Everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 222. We're going to be talking about an armored dinosaur today, and that armored dinosaur is Zuul. And so here's an artist rendition of uh, Zuul, uh, two Zuuls, I should say, duking it out. And I'll talk about that type of behavior in a little bit in the more info type of slide here, but let's actually get down to some basic information about Zuul. So, information about Zuul. The name Zuul is actually named after a Ghostbusters character, the 1984 Ghostbusters. So, if you've seen the 1984 Ghostbusters film, you know what the character Zuul is. It's that demon, uh, dog-like creature who is the who is also known as the gatekeeper of Gozer. And so, yeah, so this dinosaur is named after a Ghostbusters character. And that's actually pretty cool. And the length is 20 feet or 6 meters. Height is 5 feet or 1.5 meters. Weight is unknown. I could not find any information about the weight of this animal. I know it's got to be in the thousands of pounds type of area. It lived 75 million years ago in the late Cretaceous period, and fossils are found in Montana of the United States and was described by Arbor and Evans in 2017. So this is a fairly recent dinosaur that was described. And so I'll put the link in the description of the papers that were done on Zuul. So like the description paper and also a more fairly recent paper that has come out uh, about uh, about ankylosaurs, mainly on Zuul. And so here we go on this slide is you actually see where this circle is. I kind of actually got it a little bit in Canada, but it's the northern side of Montana. So this big green state here of the United States in the 48 states right here. And so it is in the northern part of Montana is where Zuul has been found. And here's the size description of Zuul, and so compared to a human female. And so yeah, this is not quite this is not the largest of all ankylosaurs. There's a few that are larger than Zuul, and you can see the based on the holotype specimen, this is how much has been discovered of Zuul. This is a nearly complete specimen that they have found. Now, there's some bits of scutes that are missing, and even the leg, some of the majority of the legs are missing. And so, yeah, there is. There's still we still don't know in terms of like what the legs probably look like. They probably look very very similar to other ankylosaurs. And so, yeah, let's actually get to more information about Zuul. More information. And so, Zuul is part of the Ankylosaurinae or Ankylosaurs, and it is part of the uh, or the subgenera of family group called Ankylosaurini. And so, it's related to Ankylosaurus, Euplocephalus, those types of dinosaurs. And like some of the similar descriptions of ankylosaurs, it's got bony scutes on the back and sides of the animal. So this is a very well armored dinosaur. But the one thing that is a little bit different from Zuul compared to other ankylosaurs is that it's got these like bigger horns on the back of the skull. And so that's why it was given the name Zuul, because Zuul's horns look very, very similar to the horns of the character Zuul in Ghostbusters. And so that's actually pretty cool. And uh, and so the skull is a little bit more uh, armored, so to speak, but actually has those bigger horns on the back of the skull. And like the ankylosaurs, it does have a tail club on the end of the tail. And the funny thing is that there has been a recent paper that has come out that has actually talks about what some of these tail clubs were more likely used for. And so what it is that ankylosaurs that have tail clubs were not using these tail clubs for defense that much, even though they probably were. They probably were more likely using them for like more likely for battles, or I say for territory, for mates, basically like males going up against each other for a female. And so they have found on Zuul damaged bony scutes from tail club from the tail club of another Zuul. And so that's actually interesting. There is that they use those tail clubs uh, for territorial disputes and probably mating rituals too. And they probably did use them for defense in certain occasions, though, too, because they probably didn't have to do that very often. Like, say, going up against a Tyrannosaur, for example, they probably had they probably just crouch down low and just not even and just try to not even try to bother to use those tail clubs that much, unless if the Tyrannosaur got way too close. Then yeah, smack in the face, smack on the ankle or the foot of the Tyrannosaur, and then yeah, that Tyrannosaur uh, is going to be wandering off, limping or other ways, in agonizing pain. And like all ankylosaurs, Zuul is a herbivore. It eats plants. The environment in which Zuul lived in would have been warm and humid, somewhat seasonal. So there would have been like a summer and winter there, but it would not be like a very dramatic winter. It would just be some snow had fallen, but there's not much of like say like tundra, so to speak. It would be more of like kind of like what you see in like some of the northern states of the United States. So like say Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, or even like Maine, and like some parts of Canada probably have this as well, where it's there's not that much of tundra. It's just more of like a basic type of seasonal type of climate. And so that would have been more likely what would have happened. So you probably had to have warm summers, cooler winters, and your normal uh, spring and fall. But the fall would have been very different back then. There would have been plenty of trees, ferns, cycads, and flowers. There was no grass during that time as well. There would have been plenty of rivers, lakes, and ponds, and there would have been the Western Interior Seaway. And 75 million years ago, there was the seaway that cut through North America, that split North America into two, and that's how and then you have that seaway that you had like all those very cool marine reptiles, sharks, fishes, invertebrates that lived around that kind of time as well. But other types of creatures that would have been around on land for Zool that interacted with would have been plenty of insects, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, birds, or avian dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and of course the non-avian dinosaurs. So other types of dinosaurs would have been around as well. So like ceratopsians, hadrosaurs, some oviraptorids, and even you got your predators like the theropod types of dinosaurs. And so Zool did have predators, and so the main predators for Zool, so the couple of Tyrannosaurs lived around that kind of time, would have been Gorgosaurus, the speedy Tyrannosaur that lived around that kind of time, and of course Daspletosaurus. Daspletosaurus would have been the more common predator that Zool had to face, and but the but more likely the young were more likely endangered from Daspletosaurus, not the adults. Daspletosaurus would not even bother to go after an adult. It's mainly the juveniles. And there would have been Dromaeosaurus around that kind of time as well, but mainly Dromaeosaurus. Dromaeosaurus would have been the only one that would have been able to try to take on Zuul, but more likely most predators left Zuul alone because they didn't even want to get injured by something that was well armored and just left the adults alone, but mainly the juveniles were vulnerable to predators. Now, the extinction of Zuul is mostly due to climate change. The Western Interior Seaway retreated thanks to the Rocky Mountains beginning to form. So, the Rocky Mountains were the reasons why the climate changed around, say, 72, like around right after 75 million years ago, going into 70 million years ago. And so, there were a lot of earthquakes, some volcanic activity, but mainly some earthquakes. And so the Rocky Mountains were really beginning to form around that kind of time, and also the plants changed, and so that's how things went terrible for Zuul to survive. So it could not adapt to those types of changes. And so here's what North America looked like around 75 million years ago, and right around that spot of where Zuul has been found would have been right there for Zuul would have lived in that part of Montana. And so, yeah, there you go. And so that's where Zuul lived around there. And so the next episode will be on April 4th, 2024, and that'll be a Q&A episode. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or another prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinocrit71@gmail.com. Just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dinocrits. Like the page, you have to put your questions in the comment section. Don't put your questions on Messenger. Messages are for private conversations. So please put your questions in the comment section on any Facebook posts. And also for you YouTubers out there, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel according to my analytics. So that if you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet, so please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So the more of it and how the YouTube algorithm works, the more of it, the more likes the video gets, the more likely it gets spreads out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, geology in general, and also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general. So that way you can get some more viewers here. And so, yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so that way you can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out every single week. And also for you YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section because I read them all. All of you that are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube. You guys are awesome. You're giving me some great questions for the Q&A episodes. And so keep up the great work for that. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.gress.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Threads. It's the same thing at dino.gress.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of people around you, and also for you younger people out there, to make sure listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have. A good education It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now. Now, see you guys next time.